Ba-da-dum. Howdy, y'all. Welcome to BanjoBenClark.com. I am Banjo Ben. Merry Christmas to y'all, no matter what time of year you might be watching this lesson. I heard the bells on Christmas Day. Not the most common Christmas song, but one of the most pretty, wouldn't you say? That melody's so pretty. So many opportunities for great harmonies. I taught a fingerstyle guitar lesson to this last year, and there was an overwhelming demand. Like, what would that sound like on mandolin? So we're doing it. Here you go. And if you haven't learned that fingerstyle guitar lesson yet, you need to go check that out. And Gold Peak members can access all my lessons on the website for banjo, guitar, and mandolin. I do have to say something about this mandolin. I just got it yesterday here at the house. We have it for sale in the store. It's a Northfield F5S Limited. So this is like a step between the F5S and the Big Mon, price point wise. And she is, I tell you, it's a beaut, Clark. Didn't sound good on that song. It plays so well too. Easy to play this stuff. And if you're watching somewhere else besides BanjoBenClark.com, you need to come over there as a member, especially around Christmas time. So much to learn. Hundreds of lessons for banjo, guitar, mandolin, and Gold Peak members get access to it all, as well as access to the forum where you can upload videos of yourself playing, and I will give you some friendly critique about how to get better. There's learning tracks. There's all kinds of great stuff over there. Come check it out. Be part of a very cool community over there. Okay. Let's jump into this lesson, and you'll learn why I'm going to call it an advanced mandolin lesson. It might surprise y'all to learn that I call this an advanced version. You might say, why is it advanced? Isn't it going really slow? It is, but there is some difficult things happening, particularly with our fret hand, if we want to do it pretty. Now, you can make your way all the way through the song, just kind of hitting the frets as you go, but it wouldn't be as pretty. So we're going to talk about making it pretty and keeping that sustain going. And to do that, you've really got to have some strategy on your fingerings. And so there's some fingerings that are kind of non-conventional that we're going to talk about. Okay. Now, when we think about what key it's in the key of C. Like a lot of Christmas songs, it has a lot of key, chords that aren't normally seen there. Augmented, diminished chords, minor chords. We'll talk about those as we go. And then when we think about the melody, we've got a lot of harmonies and brushes and double stops in this version. The harmony is the melody is almost always on the top note. So that means, like even here at the very beginning, when you do that brush through and measure 2, the melody note's up there. And so we want to make sure that melody note sings through. You can even play it a little bit louder than the rest, but at least don't play it softer than the rest. I guess that's a good way to think about it. Kind of make it the star. Okay, so I'm just going to work my way through, talk to you about the fingerings, give you some of that sustain strategy, and then play each line slowly for you so you can see it. So as you'll notice, whenever I do that brush, I'm leaving all my fingers down, even after I hit that 5th fret there, which I'm grabbing with my pinky. You see that? That's kind of easier because if I stretch my ring, I might mute some of the strings. I'm able to put that pinky down and not have any muted strings, or very few. And there's a lot of strings to mute on a mandolin in there. Okay, so a good rule of thumb to think about when you're playing a song like this is maybe leave your fingers down until you're forced to pick them up. That's a way to really maximize the sustain, because it just wouldn't sound good to... Okay, we want to have the mandolin sustain and be really pretty and make use of these harmony notes. Now, you may look at the timing and think, gosh, some of that looks a little difficult. Like halfway through measure 3, we've got the 16th note, or actually 32nd note, I guess. Yeah, pull-offs. Don't worry about that. Use your ears more than the tab, and you have a lot of freedom to kind of push and pull these notes as they go. And you'll notice whenever I performed it that there was some swelling in the tempo and some dragging in the tempo for expression. You want to be expressive with this. So you also don't have to worry about the pick strokes, even though I put them on there, because it's going slow enough you can do whatever you want. The whole first line, just watch me. So pretty. So work on playing that slowly and getting your sustain. Now, when you go to the next line, it starts with the brush. And I like to finger it like that usually. with my ring finger. And I actually will maybe hammer onto it a little bit early, coming down measure 3, and then do the brush. That's up to you. And then we're going to do that hammer on, pull off. And that's difficult. Whenever we do that triplet and go right into that brush, look, your index finger has to go from here to there. It seems like immediately. And technically it is as it's written. But you've got a little time there. The song's not going fast, so it's okay if you're a little late to that brush to get seated well. Now it's difficult to play the rest of measure 4 without muting the strings and keeping that low 2nd fret down, but you can get it. Then we have a B chord in the key of C. That's kind of cool. Notice in measure 5, I'm playing that 2nd and 3rd fret both with my index finger. Even there, when I play that double stop, I'm going to leave it down until I'm forced to come up here and play the rest of that run. So it's like we hold down the notes until the listener's ears, until their attention is taken away by something else that's going on. So if you just play that double stop, then they're kind of like, well, why is that stopping? But if we leave it down, now something else is beginning to happen, that run, then you can come off of it and they don't lose anything. Another difficult stretch here. I kind of have to palm the mandolin to get this stretch. Okay, the whole line. When I hit the next line, I'm actually going to use my ring finger to play the 3rd fret, which you're not used to doing. Usually you play that with your middle. But I'm going to need this index finger back here. So this is the chord shape. It's an E diminished chord shape. That's what we're aiming for, 2, 1, 3. So, and then I'm going to bar with my index finger to catch that 1st fret on the E string. That's not normal either. And that's so I can have both of those notes ringing out. If you pick it up and move it to the 1st string, it's fine, but it's going to cause a little break in the tone, which you may want. It kind of sounds cool. But I like to leave it down. And then we're going to go up for some tremolos on the double stops. Take your time. There's no tremolo speed that we're required to have. I also like to swell the volume in the midst of each one of those, so kind of make it grow and fall. And if you don't land on the next one right on the beat, it's okay. You can kind of work your way through them. Weight, different ones of them a little differently. It's all good. Again, I like to use my pinky there. It's unorthodox. But it helps me not to mute the strings. Okay, it's that whole line. So that's half of the tune. We've got some very interesting up the next stuff coming up. And if you're watching here as a Gold Pit member on the website, banjobenclark.com, you can just click on part 2. Don't forget to download the tabs, and I have 2 different kinds of rhythm tracks. One is with the mandolin solo, one is guitar only. So be sure and check that out so you can play along with me. If you're watching somewhere else, come on over, be a Gold Pit member, and access this lesson and hundreds more. Let's go.